And we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Hello and welcome, Andy and Jared, Cleveland and beyond. He's Andy Billman. I'm Jared Watson, and this podcast is brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Well, sound the horns! Woohoo! We have horns. Major League. Yeah, there we go. That works. Major League Baseball is back. No, we're not fucking around. This is the real deal. We're going to talk about the excitement of the negotiation there between two stubborn parties and what is ahead for baseball. And more importantly, what's in store for our tribe. 25-1 odds to win the World Series. I'll tell you that right now. We wrap up with the Cavs season. Wait, the Cavs season's already wrapped up.
Yes, well, we're going to wrap it up.
I know. Mr. Drummond, he picked up his option. Shock face. I don't think Andy is shocked at all. Take the money that you can right now. Take
every nickel and dime you can get,
because there's no guarantees, right? And ESPN, dude. All right, look, I will come from a place of cultural humility when we discuss this later.
Yes,
but recognizing my privilege as a middle-aged white man, I can do that. I really can. I'm not being facetious here. I'm not being a dick when I say that. I'm being sincere. But ESPN is going to relive the decision on Sunday and take a look back at that and put a little bit of a spin on it that I think is a stretch. And I think ESPN's, well, again, we'll get
Gotta wait to see it. All
right, we'll see how they do it if they can make it work.
But let's just be fair. That was a tough night.
And everyone, even LeBron agrees, if I remember correctly. Hey, yeah, so can't wait for that. But first, cue the song Center Field. Yeah, let's do that. The tribe is back, baby.
Well, if you love a good game of Monopoly and you say, well, how do I make it more fun? You say, well, why don't I watch people play Monopoly? If you say you love fantasy, anything, you say, you know what's more fun watching it? We saw people bickering over dollar bills and all these different things. And we finally came to a joyous moment, basically on Tuesday. Everything came together. 60-game season. Holly fucking hallelujah. Of course, there's dramatics. Is on Monday, the union turned down the opportunity to sign an agreement because they wanted to hold the grievance. That's basically what it comes down to. All these other details we'll get through. But what it came down to is, for people who haven't been following, the vote was voted down by the players 33-5. And then they basically did it for one reason. They want to hold the chance to go into an arbitrator. Which, by the way, does not sound like at this time they're going to do that. But they wanted to hold that option. That's the reason why they did it. So everything else, because they've turned down more money, they turned down more opportunities for players to get playoff games. All that stuff went down the tubes with this. So, the bigger thing here from this whole thing, and then we'll get to the fun of it, just to recap and put a bow on this shit.
Yeah.
I really felt this way in the last podcast. I'm going to echo it again. I am not pro-union. I am not pro-player in this. I'm very much in between. The only thing I am pro-player on big time is the money. They should have gotten more compensation for the money made in the last 4 years. I do agree with that. However, I don't think how it was handled here was properly done on either side. I thought it came out to be a big mess, as everybody alluded to. And Jared, I just hope that through this now, this will be a quick memory loss so they can get fans in the stands. And I think it's smart they're getting ahead of the NBA.
Well, the good news is everyone is desperate to watch some sports, and they'll take it. Golf is great, but it's not going to get us through.
No,
and Lord knows at this point, neither is NASCAR. So we'll hold off on that one. So I just wish that Major League Baseball would stop making everything like a trip to the fucking dentist. It's pulling teeth constantly.
It is grinding. It's very stupidly detail oriented. And at the end of the day, it's all about a grievance. That's all. You can read all these different things.
It doesn't even seem like it was really over. I mean, it's over money, but it's not over.
Well, no, it's not, because they turned down. They technically turned down more money to hold the right to have a grievance. That's strange to me.
Okay. I mean, cool. You know what? I mean, again, I can look past it. I love this game so much, Andy.
Yes.
I dedicated 13 years of my life to it. I played some college ball. God, I watch I watch baseball movies and regret ever quitting like I did. The way that I walked away from the game, like the game of baseball is very much in my blood. And so when I see stuff like this play out the way that it has, it makes me want to shake people. Like I want to grab them by the shoulders and break the social distancing rules and just shake the fuck out of people. Why won't you figure it out and just get on the damn field? Because, Andy, let's do this too. We're now at a point where we're watching states where teams play and spend a lot of time. Arizona, Florida,
California,
Texas, California, where COVID is shooting back up, spiking like crazy.
Well, they're finally getting
what all wearing masks, and you need to put some masks on and just say, "Quit your bitching." Like
there is a huge wave. They are finally getting. Jared and I live on the East Coast.
Here we are. Like I'm worried they're not going to be able to pull it off because of all this.
Well, here's the one thing baseball has going for it, and I said this to you, and this is the one sport that can say this along with football. But more, I think, because in football there's still positions and whatever else, and but in baseball there's so many minor leaguers and there's so much of a farm system that baseball will be able to get through it. Now the talent's going to drop off, obviously, if you get COVID-19 starters to go away. Which, by the way, Blackman today is the first starter for the Rockies. Has been announced that he has it, so he'll be sitting out for a little bit. All that to be said, though, again, at least in baseball, you have players who can come up, play, and be experienced and ready to go. And I think, Jared, that is a huge difference. I mean, even in football, you're still coming off the bench without playing. In these states of these minor leaguers, they're playing games, you would think. I mean, minor league is still up, but I just think that's going to help baseball out a lot to have these reinforcements ready to go.
I think only for an extent, Andy, and I'll say this. I say it this way, because we really are making these assumptions that these young, fit athletes are going to be okay if they get it, and that these young players that are trying to come up and get into the league will see this as an opportunity. But again, we're not so certain that that's, a lot of the folks that are catching this shit right now are in that younger age bracket. And we're going to start to see a lot of those hospitalizations and how they play out and whether or not this actually is okay for young people to get. Even folks that are surviving it are walking away with some lung damage that's no fun. So I don't know how sustainable it is, even if you have replacements available. We're not talking about plug and play. These aren't machines. These are human beings.
No, you're right.
I don't know how long it's going to go until players are going, fuck it, this ain't worth it.
No,
I mean, I just don't. I don't. And I'm not saying that it's going to go that way, but I have to play devil's advocate here and say, I understand that you have the availability of players right now, but I don't know for sure that that's how it's going to continue if there is an outbreak. If a team does all of a sudden have one guy spread it, to 20 guys. I don't know how that's going to work out. I hope that that's not what happens. But Lord knows, I have not seen anywhere besides South Korea that keep it together so that doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
All fair. I'm on the opposite viewpoint, but that's totally understandable.
It's just an awareness thing. I'm just skeptical. I'm not cynical, but I'm skeptical.
Right. And by the way, skeptical is very, very fair and understandable. The way I see it, you got plenty of players spread out in the stands. You're going to have, again, you'll have things that are going to come. You can come in and out. Obviously, there's going to be some unexpected hurdles, and I'm not naive to that. You're hitting a couple of them. I just see it more of the lens of it's going to be an opportunity for people who normally would not have a chance of playing the big leagues to play, and they're going to get excited and they're going to take advantage of it. And talking to some athletes already, players who are fringy are getting really excited as they see it's an opportunity to play. And I think they're going to take advantage of it. I do. And I think that's right. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but Jared's right. It's very unpredictable, and God knows I'm not a doctor. So even from what I just said, things can happen and it could spread, and I could look like the biggest asshole on the planet. All that to be said, we press forward. The MLB schedule, it's going to be pretty simple. Here's how it works. Now let's get to the fun part. It's AL Central. You play the Tigers, White Sox, Twins, and Royals 10 times. Easy peasy. You get to play the my favorite cup, the Ohio Cup, the Reds 6 times. You then get to play the National League.
It's not a rivalry.
I am the only person who loves the Reds Indians game. You know what? I love the cup. I will drink.
I'd rather the Indians have a rivalry with the Pirates than with the Reds.
I think the Reds is so much better.
I will refer to them as the Kentucky Reds, though. I will do that.
Right. I am that fan, Zach Mazel. I am that fan. I love the Ohio Cup.
Oh, why does Zach not like it?
No, he doesn't like it. No one likes it. No one. I'm the one. I'm the weirdo.
All right. Well, that's all right. Hey, listen. There's nothing wrong with being the odd man out. I am often the odd man out in these sorts of opinions, I guess.
But that's my point. I'm the odd man out. So if you do your quick math, that's 46 games. Where's your 14? Pirates, Cardinals, Cubs, and Brewers. You're going to play 1 series apiece. 2 of those will be 4. The other 2 will be 3-game series. You get 14. 14 plus 46 is 60. Those are your 60 games.
Yeah. Andy, let's talk about that for a minute. The breakdown of the schedule.
Yep.
I like that it's heavy on divisional play.
Yep.
I don't know that I like that they flipped all the way across the board and went to interleague play for the remaining 20. I don't need interleague play, especially in a shortened season. I like the idea of not having familiarity with teams that you may end up playing in the playoffs or in the World Series later, rather. You know what I mean? I mean, let's put it this way: if it ends up being Indians Cubs again in the World Series, and the Indians, win, take the series during the regular season, I don't know. Maybe I'm making more of it than I should, right? Maybe I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth. Maybe I should just be grateful that they're going to get on the field and play. I just don't understand how they came to that conclusion that that's how they were going to break up the schedule. Does it make sense at all to you?
It's all about one thing. It's all about health. When they talked to health experts, they said keeping everyone in one region would make a lot more sense. I will say the one thing about this whole thing, that's what they said. That's what they're reporting. Jared, that's what they're reporting. I mean,
don't know how that does that.
I don't, Jared. I just read what I read.
Yeah,
here's what I will say.
That's spin.
Here's what I will say, and I learned this from what the NBA is doing. Because there's no fans in the stands, and I love the fact the Indians are playing in Cleveland, sure. If I'm being honest, though, looking back at it, they should have just played these games. They could play them anywhere with 4 or 5 fields and just have a bunch of teams in 3 or 4 areas of the country. I think baseball, and again, that was requested.
They could play them all in Dyersville, right there in the middle of the Field of Dreams.
I think they should. I think they should have done that. That was a big contention from the union. They did not want to play at a neutral site. They want to be closer to families, which I understand. All that to be said. I think the biggest thing here is reading this. What Jared's saying is I'm going to miss playing the Red Sox and Yankees, the hated Astros now. All those things are going to be missed this year. It's going to be weird. All that to be said, that's what the health experts say. You got to go on what they say, and that's what they think is best. That's what they think is best. We can sit here and debate about that. I think some of it's FUBAR. I agree with Jared. I got to be honest with you. They're all making this up as they go. I think that's the line of the year.
Let's be real about it.
It is what it is. Now, to the positive.
Of all the years to make it up, though, this would be the year because it's worth experimenting, I guess, because there are other things going on that, again, you say FUBAR. There are other things going on with rule changes that also are probably going to irk a lot of people. But go ahead, Andy.
Jared loves the idea of putting runners on base in the next inning game.
Go ahead.
I'll get to that in a second. The easiest schedules, if you went off wins and losses last year, you're 1 and 2 teams. Drum roll. Number 1's the Twins. Number 2's the Indians. Now, that is off of, again, stuff that I don't even know how you equate to this year, but that's interesting all to itself.
Yeah, I'm not buying that either.
There is a lot of good tribe chatter, I would say, on Twitter.
Well, we all know the Indians never saw off to a full start. They always go off to a slow start. Is that going to get things off this year? And I just are really worried that they're not going to get off that. Okay, look.
I've said that.
Folks,
I've been one of those guys.
Folks, not April. It's fucking late July when they start.
Yeah, this is when the tribe picks it up.
Yeah,
So they're starting right in the middle of it.
They like the warm. Here's the only thing I'm going to say. And I'm going to say this fairly, even though we're going to try to get into it, because that's what I love. I love doing this about sports, is trying to predict what's going to happen. For the first time, I have no feel on the Indians. Meaning, like, I don't. But by the way, do I have a feel for the Cubs? Nope. Do I have a feel for the White Sox? Nope. Do I have a feel for the Yankees? No. This is such a crapshoot.
Do they have a feel for each other? No.
Right.
Do they have a feel for themselves?
That's my point. This is the one sport. The NBA, not so much, because they've already got standings and stuff. But for baseball, I would suggest watching as many games as you can, because it is going to be wild. And what it does do, which I don't mind, if you're a Royals fan, a Pirates fan, a Marlins fan, these are teams that are way down the list of possibly winning the World Series, right? And God knows they're not going to probably do it. But I will say it gives you a small opportunity. And we all know in baseball, if you get fucking hot, you could get in.
Well, then we need to talk about this too, Andy, because I'm tired of, and I heard it today, and forgive me because I don't remember who it was on CNN, but somebody was talking about this and mentioned the asterisks regarding this season. I just have to say this. I have to say this. There's not an asterisk beside other seasons that were shortened, nor should there be. And asterisks are used for very specific reasons when we talk about them. Baseball is really the only sport we really hear about it. Yes. And it really comes out of the steroid era and the cheating. And I don't like mashing those two worlds together and going, oh, well, it's different, so it needs to be an asterisk, because that's what we know how to do in baseball when something is different. No. There are an entirely different set of challenges to this season right now.
Yes.
That you cannot say, well, they won. You're not saying, well, they won because of some advantage. What is the advantage? If you're saying that, then you're saying other teams have won because of the advantage of 162 games or the advantage. You know what I mean? I don't know that there is an advantage to be had here. I think this is all discovery right now. I think everyone's playing in the dark and hoping to come out and just play some ball and mash and see what they can do. And there is no asterisks. I feel like I'm really butchering that word. There's no way that you can apply that to this season. It does not work. It does not fit. That's bullshit. That is purely for those who have cheated in the past to say, wait a minute, you didn't do that fairly. That's all that's for.
Well,
throw that fucking asterisk out, rip it off your keyboard, and throw it somewhere else.
Here's where I'll go down.
You might need the number it's attached to, though, so don't rip it up. Is it
there was a huge strike in '81 with the Dodgers, and the whole Major League Baseball. And the Dodgers won the World Series. They beat the Yankees. Do you think they consider that an asterisk for World Series win? No. There's been other moments like this. Let me just tell you, because I live in this area of the country.
We have to survive the NBA.
If the Yankees win it all, the Yankees will not consider this an asterisk.
No.
Okay, so let me just
do the Warriors, and I know I'm jumping leagues here, but do the Warriors consider it an asterisk in 2015?
I mean, you're right. Again, I think it's.
They didn't play a fully staffed Cavs team.
Here's where I'm going to leave it. There's been a huge discussion about this, so I'm not naive. There's going to be discussions about this. It is a season, and this is the true endurance of a front office. And I meant what I said. Jared's right about health concerns, all that said. But if we have been accurate, which I think we have been, the Indians and every other team too, if you have run your front office well and you believe you can, you will succeed in this season, in my opinion, because it is going to be a mental attrition more than physical.
Oh, yeah.
This is not 162. This is 60.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. So if you believe you planned it right and you budgeted your players correctly and you made the right decisions, you will be fine. Because you know what? Having Giancarlo Stanton, all those guys, it doesn't fucking matter. Because in those seasons, they come up because they're big players and the season's long and you want them in there. Hey, in this kind of season, it doesn't matter now. You could be young and sparky and hot and you could do it. That's where this is fun. Because a great example is for Framil Reyes. Now, we will have to see how he performs. But there's an example. If he stays hot like he did in spring and that carries over, Jared, that's the kind of guy that can carry. We saw it last year. Carlos Santana carried this team on his back for most of the season. If you play in a shortened season with Carlos Santana last year, the Indians are going to the playoffs. And Santana's dragging them in. That's going to be the fun this year. You're going to see stories like that. I'm telling you.
It's a cross between, something that the purists would love, and that I think that the Sandlot kids would love.
Yes.
It's you're a shortened season. The pressure's always on, yet it's not pressure because you're just grateful to be there. There's a lot of like mixed emotions. I think that players and coaches and front offices and viewers alike are going to feel throughout this. Because it's such a man. It reminds you why you love the game. It brings the kid out in you. It reminds you of how important competition is, just within life, and and being a human being and enjoying this sort of thing.
Baseball, because there's no 162. This is pure competition, which I love. Innings are now big. Simber getting outs is now big in a spot when they're up 2 runs. These games, Jared, are going to mean more because you only got 60. And I think that's going to be great. It's going to feel more like college baseball.
Yeah, like a tournament. Yeah,
it really, really is. It's going to feel like, actually, for the first time, more like the World Cup, where you basically have group stages, which is what we're in now, and you're going to advance from group stages. And you know what? That is what I like. Actually, that's what I'll compare it to. It reminds me a lot of the World Cup.
Let's be real about this too, Andy. I got to say it, and it's something that's eaten at me for a long time. As much as I love baseball, as much as I love, constantly every night walking around with a speaker in my pocket, Bluetooth turned on, listening to Tom Hamilton call games, in the middle of dinner with my family at the table, because that's the kind of asshole I've always been.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't. Yeah, and paid for MLB, streaming for the past 15 years. I don't think we need 162 games ever. I'm saying it, and that's where I'm at.
Well, this has been debated for a long time, and here's where baseball's going to have a problem. It's all about do, re, mi.
Sure.
So they're never going to get over 162, but people forgot. Before the spike up in baseball, which is really after when during the season the Royals won, was when the spike up happened. That was a big debate in that labor union, was they wanted to possibly take off games. But again, that means less compensation, and the players said, hell no, and away you go. That's how they got to that last agreement. And Jared, it's going to be hard. That is the biggest problem with all these sports. Once you start adding games in, it's hard taking games out. And it's nothing more than money for the players.
It's hard to fill the seats day in and day out for other teams.
Jared's all right.
So it's not money out of their pockets. They're being short-sighted in that fact.
I think there's
no way. You cannot tell me that a league that plays 16 games a year and pulls in a shit ton of money every year, revenue-wise, from a million different outlets, and fills every seat every game for almost everybody. You can't tell me that quantity beats quality. You can't tell me that.
Here's where the asterisk theory goes away for what you'll like. If people enjoy it, so I think people are going to enjoy it more than what you think. I really do. I think that's why the asterisk thing will go away a little bit. Not forever, but it's going to go away a little bit. But here's the thing that what Jared's alluding to. But I'm telling you, it's not going to happen because it's too many games. But here's something MLB can do and what they need to do. Get creative. MLB's been an old fuddy-duddy sport for fucking ever. I sat in these meetings. You would listen to what has been proposed in baseball and stuff, and I love baseball too. And they're good men and good women that work for the game. But this game, it feels stale, feels old. Now, it has some things, and it has some excitement and stuff. Joe Charbonneau is ready for a comeback. Paul Flynn on Facebook. Oh, my God. Bring me back.
Joe was Rookie of the Year a year before I was born.
I know. God, Joe Charbonneau. My favorite Indian from the past 80s, outside of Corey Snyder and obviously Joe Carter, is Brooke Jacoby. I love Brooke Jacoby.
Who doesn't love Brooke?
Love Brooke Jacoby. He's our all-star. I mean, before that, it was Julio Franco and Brett Butler, but we obviously traded them because they were too good. All that to be said, by the way, I I do think this baseball thing, though, will create some new excitement. No matter how this breaks down to what Jared's alluding to, and by the way, the contract ends at the end of 2021. They need to talk about adding some excitement back into the game. And I think one of the things you can do is changing up 162, not to be just 162 when you roll out the schedules. You can do fun things. Baseball has never done that, Jared. They don't do that stuff. They do one or two things. Patriots Day for the Red Sox, and a few like the Reds play the first game of that parade, and that's about it. Baseball doesn't take advantage like NFL, like the NBA, like college football, like college basketball. They've never taken advantage of things to make these games more fun. They just say, we're just going to roll the games out and everybody's going to play. And in the last game of the year, we're going to have the Orioles and Yankees play in an empty stadium at Camden Yards. Why the fuck would you? I mean, they do this every year where they have games. It's like in the last week of the season, Yankees and Blue Jays. I mean, why would you do that? You got to think about your league. Make it more exciting. Make it more fun.
Andy, we're talking about guys that could barely get their shit together enough to agree on a 60-game season.
Jared,
I'm not surprised at any of that. They all have their heads up their ass regarding
exciting.
The way forward for this game.
Again, you don't have to do a lot. I've learned this about sports, but little simple twist. USC playing Alabama to begin the year. Oregon playing Ohio State. We talked about in the last podcast. Ohio State, Alabama playing in these neutral sites, in these big things. Now, in that case, they're playing on each other's campus. But these little twists, they do it all the time in the NFL. They do simple little things to make these games more exciting. They start off the year on Thursday night with the Super Bowl champion. It's minor, simple
There's
things.
only so many Yankees primetime ESPN.
I mean,
that's
Jared,
the only thing. That's the only thing that anyone. You know what I mean?
Jared. I mean, how many times do you have to? I mean, look. I'll stop there so we can go on and on, but I'll say again, 162 is not going away, but that doesn't mean the season can't be exciting. Make it exciting. Make it exciting. These other sports do. You do fucking nothing, and I love you, baseball. Outside the Red Sox playing on Patriots Day and the Reds in that opening parade, that's all we fucking got. Everything else is a crapshoot. And again, all these last games of the year, I mean, last year too, okay, it kind of worked out because the Nationals and Indians were both good, but National Indians playing in the last week of the year, I mean, that didn't make sense either. Play games that have some zip and meaning.
I was at that game, and you know what I did? I watched the Browns beat the Ravens. That's what I did. I was in a booth. I was in the box watching the poor Clevenger.
Yeah.
I didn't watch him throw his last game. I was watching the Browns play the best game of the season. That's what I did at the game.
Nick Chubb
and I drank a lot of beer.
Nick Chubb running. But again, end of the year games. You want to put Marlins Diamondbacks the last game of the year? I get that. Yes. You want to put these bad teams playing against each other at the end of the year? Yes. But again, Indians Nationals, I mean, it worked out, but I mean, don't we want Indians Twins? Don't we want some zip and some excitement and some big games in
Indians
the year?
Nationals, no, the Nationals
doesn't roll off the tongue.
They were walking into the playoffs anyway.
Anyways.
The Indians ran out of gas and it was no fun.
Baseball needs to get creative. Okay, but they're playing golf.
No
okay.
fun.
Now here's where the creativity of baseball has shown up. Jared Watson, here we go. An experiment fueled by health and safety concerns. All extra inning games now will start with a runner on second base until one team wins.
Did you say that it was for health concerns?
I'll read it again.
So the prior 9 fucking innings didn't matter. That they're all huffing and puffing and breathing on each other. That shit don't matter. Is that what you're saying?
No, don't matter.
That it's the 10th inning that we better end this quickly. They've been around each other for too long and they haven't social distance.
Everybody's hot.
Are you who hires both the PR folks for Major League Baseball and the health experts that they're quoting here as reason for doing this? It is. I'm sorry, Andy. That is just the most asinine, stupid bullshit reason. If you're gonna do it, just say we're gonna do it because this is the perfect time to try it out. Say that. Say that. That's believable. That makes sense. The rest of it is stupid. You can't play a 9-inning game and then tell me that you're worried about COVID in the 10th inning. You can't do that. You cannot do that.
By the way, give me a blindfold and a shot of whiskey if Brad Hand comes in with a runner on second to start the 10th inning. I will be a nervous fucking wreck.
He's got to face 3 batters.
Oh.
Right?
I'm indifferent on this rule. I want to see it being played, but I'm indifferent.
I will
about the
too,
rule.
but if you're going to be legitimate about that and say it's for health reasons and say it's for COVID, even if you
I just read.
believable, Andy, I know.
Read
Even if
what
you
I'm
make it
I'm
a touch believable, then you need to change it to putting a man on third, right? Come on. Put a man on third. Put a man on third. Don't put him on second. Put him on third.
I just can't wait for the excitement of late inning games when you know your bullpen's cast and there's a guy at second base to start the 10th. It'll be entertaining.
Well, you know what you could. Well, the 10th inning. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't necessarily look. I get it. It's a sudden death kind of a feel, right? That's kind of the feel. If you want to explain it that way, explain it in the way that makes most sense.
Again,
don't explain it in the way that sounds like you're blowing bullshit up planet Earth's ass to make everyone believe you.
Look, this is baseball's biggest problem. We're trying to keep the integrity of the game. Please pass me the sidewalk chalk in a good juice, in a good juicy fruit.
I'm sorry.
Stick of gum. No, but that's baseball's problem. Like every other sport talks about the excitement and adding entertainment. Baseball, well, we're doing it for safety and health reasons. Quote,
no, you're not. No, you're not. You're not.
We're not. No,
you're not.
No.
That's not reality.
By the way, the DH is in, and by the way, that I like that a lot. I like the DH being above.
Yes, but even that's the thing, Andy. I'm not even saying they can't sell me man on second. They can. They can sell me man on second.
There's no bullshit.
Sell me. I can't believe how angry I am at this, and I'm more angry at the statement of why than I am the actual change.
Health and safety.
I can't wait to hear Tom Hamilton say this shit. I cannot wait for Tom to talk about it in the middle of the first time that it happens. I cannot wait.
I just want to
I can't wait to hear Matt Underwood or who
Hey,
where am I?
Hey, in a big I know you meant Rosie. In a big Ohio Cup game, there's nothing more I can't wait in the 10th inning.
I want to hear Rosie laughing at Tom.
Then we see Greg Allen running out to second base for speed to try to get the winning run home.
Actually, Rick Manning will be doing the same thing too.
Yes. With
Matt Underwood. They're going to, I don't know. Actually, I could see Rick trying to sell it a little bit better.
I think it's going to be great.
Look, it's fine by me. Again, just don't lie. Don't bullshit.
Baseball's biggest problem is they try to keep this sacred game. It's almost like, hey, back in the 70s, there was no shot clock, and
it's
we had
like
no
they're afraid. Yeah. They're afraid to be honest about it, and they want to blame it on this and use that as the excuse instead of just saying, "Hey, better time than now to try some cool shit that might speed some shit up and make some shit fun." Just say that.
Does anybody not miss not having 3-pointers in basketball? No, good. We're all good. Okay, good. Do we miss not having a 2-point conversion try in the NFL? No, we like that. Okay, good. Yeah. Baseball. This is good. Let it go. Just say it's for the best for our game moving forward.
Right.
It's an experiment fueled by health and safety concerns.
I'd be cool if they bumped it. If that were the case, then why don't they change it? Oh, Jesus. It doesn't.
I did that to fire
we play 1 inning together. 1 inning games, if that's what you do.
Here's the
wear masks. How about that? They all need to wear masks when they play.
And by the way, they did in 1918. They did. There's pictures of it.
So then why are they doing that now? Don't tell me that you're having a man on second in a 10th inning for health and safety. Have them wear masks. That would be.
By the way, you can't spit on the field. Oh my God, I'd be a mess. I love spitting on.
What are they going to do? Well, how are they going to stop that? What are they going to do? No, you can't do that. No. Bullshit.
We got to give the team a third out. There's too much spitting. Yeah,
Andy, I can't believe how wound up I am about this. I really think it is some of the most ridiculous bullshit I've always said or ever heard.
Oh, wait till you hear this contradiction road. Suspended games. This is from The Athletic. You know those games that start and get rained out before the fifth inning, i.e. before they're considered official? You won't be seeing any of that this year. Any games that start but are then halted by weather will now be considered suspended games, meaning they will not restart, meaning they will resume at the point at which they were stopped, which we've been wanting forever. The purpose of this rule, by the way, is not for health and safety issues, but the purpose of this rule is to avoid long weather delays, an error which health officials advise having players at the ballpark for as little time as possible, even though they're going to be at the ballpark the same amount of time the next day.
Look, all right, here we go. I'm just going to say it. I love baseball.
Road.
I am disgusted by the people who run baseball. I love the game of baseball. I'm getting close to using an H word that I'm not allowed to use in my house when I was a child, but I hate the way that these people are doing this. Unreal. I am just, you know what they should do, Andy? You know what some of them should do?
What's that?
Run for office in government. They'd be perfect.
Speaking of running,
full of shit.
Speaking of running for office, Francona for mayor. According to Jensen Lewis, these are stats for people who are wondering. Now we're getting into the tribe. Francona's record since 16 against the RAL Central. White Sox 46-30, Twins almost 500 but 42-34, Tigers 58-17. My God, good old Detroit. And the Royals 50-26. The Cubs, Cardinals, Pirates, they've only played a handful of times, so I don't know how many stats matter. But if they do, 3-1 against the Cubs, 1-2 against the Cardinals, 1-2 against the Pirates. I don't remember the last time the Indians have played the Pirates, which will make Jared upset. So I think the true rivalries in Cincinnati.
Well, they were annoying losses. They were super annoying losses.
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Like stupid losses.
13-5 against the Ohio Cup. That's my Ohio Cup. The Billman Cup, will call it, and against the Reds. I'll be drinking from it. You can wipe that down with Clorox wipe. I'll drink from it. And the Brewers 3-1 against the Brew Crew. Okay, so the biggest thing that we talked about, Mandy. All this stuff we're going to go through is done by Athletic.
We're going to have Mandy back on and talk about all this too.
Yes.
I want to, because I want to lose my shit while Mandy's listening next time. Anyway,
yes.
Go ahead.
But according to Athletics, so Zach Maisel, and we talked a little bit about this already, but let's relive some of these topics. Some of these are new. Okay, Indians players who have already in Cleveland in late May and early June, they are Roberto Perez, Carlos Santana, Zach Plesac, Logan Allen, Greg Allen, so the Allen brothers, who they're not brothers, by the way, that's just a joke, Daniel Johnson, Shane Bieber, remember the Johnson brothers? They weren't Johnson brothers either for the Browns. Shane Bieber and Adam Plutko are those already working out Progressive Field. So those players, Perez, Santana, Plesac, Allen and Allen, Daniel Johnson, Shane Bieber, and Plutko, they're already in Progressive Field. They're already playing. By the way, Plutko's wife with a very cute tweet. She's excited for her boy getting back out there to play.
Yeah.
Where the team plans to host summer camp begins in July 1st. I would assume it's going to be Progressive Field. We'll have to see. Naquin has been rehabbing in Arizona. Carlos Carrasco has been back and forth from Cleveland and Tampa. It sounds like everybody. Oh, wait, here's everybody else. Other players have been training in Goodyear during the pandemic. DeShields, Simber, Phil Maton, and then J-Ram, Jose Ramirez, who was playing with Bauer in that video we talked about last week. And then there's a bunch of others we don't know yet. So that's kind of the state of where people are. Now, here's the big thing, too, now going forward. So on when the season starts, it is not 25, it's 30-man active roster. It will gradually decrease to 28, and by the end of August, it'll be 26. Trade deadline, there is one. For people who didn't think that was going away, that is not going away. Trade deadline, so July 31st will be right in the middle, August 31st. That'll representing the halfway point of the regular season. So you'll play 30 games by the 31st, and that will be great. That we used to hate that in baseball. There'll be none of that bullshit this year. Everybody plays same amount of games, same trafficking, so you're not taking half games this year. Half games won't be really an issue in the standings this year. So trades can't happen. We'll get back to that in a second. Opening day teams will be able to carry 30 players. We already said that. On the 15th day of the season. Okay, so the 15th day of the season is when the 28 players happen. And we already said about the 30-man. So that's done. All road trips. This is an interesting one. All road trips. Teams would be allowed to carry up to 3 players in a quote-unquote taxi squad, including 1 catcher. Those players would not receive Major League service time, but would be on hand in case teams need to make a change on their roster for COVID reasons. So you will have players. So at the beginning of the season, if you have a road game, you're going to have as many as 33 players ready 30 on your active roster, but 3 extra. So that's going to – so when you hear the word taxi squad, that literally what it is. It's only for road games, not home. Both position players and pitchers would require a 10-day injury list, blah, 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 blah. There's going to be a COVID-19 list, which we all knew was going to happen. And then there's a 60-day DL list, but I don't think that's really that big. Okay, now to on-the-field shit.
It's not DL anymore, though, right?
IL. That's right. Why did they change that again?
Because it sounded it sounded kind of, well, I guess, offensive. Disabled instead of
disabled list. Okay, disabled.
Yeah. It was the word disabled as opposed to injured, right? Is
Very
it
fair.
injured?
It's injured.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Very progressive. Very progressive of baseball. Of all the things they've done, they're very progressive there.
That was done for health and safety.
But I agree with that one. But
So IL. Okay, we talked about this in Mandy. Everything's leading towards Plesac and Plutko being 4 and 5. Savali seems to be the odd man out. We'll have to see how that plays out. That's when we talked about last. That has not changed, obviously. So we'll have to see. That's something to watch. Everybody's healthy. Carrasco, Clevenger, everybody will be back. Naquin, he'll be back. He'll be running around playing. Remember, Cesar Hernandez is your second baseman. It's been a while. Domingo Santana, who's a good pickup. He's going to be your DH or outfielder. Probably DH. Remember that. Those are your new guys. The taxi squad nominees. Nominees are, according to Zach Maisel, Christian Arroyo, Mike Freeman, Yu Chang, Bradley Zimmer, and everybody's Jake Bowers. I think those are a pretty good list. I think that's pretty accurate. I think all those guys actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. How you feeling about Bradley Zimmer or Jake Bowers?
Here's the one thing, and very, very, for all those guys we just mentioned, and those guys we've talked about previously, because of what I just discussed, you have to be playing well right out of the gate. If Bradley Zimmer is raking, you might have to play him. I think you will play him.
I think Bradley Zimmer's future relies on him raking.
Well, there's opportunities in life, and that doesn't just go for teams. That goes for players.
Could be big for Yu Chang.
Yu Chang, Mike Freeman, all these guys. It gives look.
Mike Freeman, I know.
If you can't hit, and it's pretty evident in late July 21st, 22nd, right before the season starts, you have a major decision to make. Because you can't fuck around these games. If Zimmer's raking, you better play him.
Oh, boy. Yeah. So this is where it becomes very boy, I am interested in seeing how Tito handles this tactically.
Oh, yes.
Because Tito is a very patient man when it comes to letting guys find their groove and find themselves throughout a season. And I'm wondering how he's going to approach this in a season that is nearly a third of the length of a regular season. That is, I will say, if I have to find any potential Achilles heel for Tito, that might be it. Would you agree with that or no?
Well, again, you're already in kind of playoff mode, in my opinion. I think the biggest thing that I would do.
I hope Tito's in that mode, going, "Fuck it, get him out." Get the other guy.
I believe in Terry Francona.
So do I.
I think that guy is not naive. If Yu Chang is hitting the ball out of the park a lot in these preseason spring training games, folks, you gotta play him.
Can Tito wear a mask and sit outside the dugout for me too, please? Please.
He's going to.
I hope he is. Is he really going to? Where's that?
I haven't seen that, but he's gonna. I'm assuming.
I swear to God, I do not want anything to happen to Tito, and it scares the shit out of me. But I told you. Andy, or I told you that I had a buddy. One of my best friends who lives downtown sent me a photo of Tito getting off a city bus a couple of months ago, and I was paranoid. Paranoid. He goes, Tito's getting off the city bus. I was like, what the fuck is he doing on the bus? All right. Oh, I want to put him in a bubble. I do. He's like one of my parents. I want to put him in a bubble and protect him and make sure nothing happens.
He's going to be fine. He's our Francona. We love Francona.
Yes.
Positive vibes.
All right.
Will Nolan Jones and Tristan McKenzie lose out on a development year? That's a big question, too. Nolan Jones especially. He's been brought up a lot. And that's where, again, I think this year, Tristan McKenzie's a good example too. If these players are playing well, you got to play them.
Yeah.
I don't think you can fuck around.
No.
Just to remind, and we will bury this forever until we can't bury it anymore. It'll be annoying. No more Clase. See you in 2021. Goodbye to you. We will see you then. And then I think the biggest topic that's going to feel as I think this is going to become a bigger story is Lindor.
Frankie's staying in Cleveland. Frankie's staying in Cleveland, but he's not going to sign long term. That's okay. He's staying.
This is going to be a developing story. I think once everybody gets back in after the 4th, you're going to start seeing Lindor stories, and we'll go through them all.
Frankie's staying in Cleveland.
I will do the Lindor Macarena dance if that's true. I would love for him to stay. But all that to be said, let's just be honest here. There's a lot that's gone into this. There's a lot that's playing out in life. Lindor is a big deal.
Comes at you fast.
It comes at you fast. He's going to have to really, really going back out to that open market saying, what is my real value? And that was to our point the last time too, is even something like in a different sport, different league, Myles Garrett. Take the money.
Not only what is my value, can anyone afford my value?
But again, that's your value. You know what? There is something in life called, yes, your house could be worth this, but in the market right now, your house is worth that.
It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay. Yeah.
Again.
So he's either staying in Cleveland or he's going to the Yankees. We'll leave it at that, or the Dodgers.
I think the Lindor rumors are going to whip, and I will also say this. Then we'll go down some other roads here. If the Indians, God, please don't. They do go off to a slow start. Those rumors are going to get whipped up big time. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And you know what? It's fair. It's very fair.
Different times.
We're talking about survival and and a possible reload, not a full reload, but just a reload of potential talent, which that front office is really, really, really good at finding.
Hey, they find out they're not going to make the playoffs. They can get a great trade and save money off a year that we're going to lose money to get closer to breaking even. I think the Indians got to seriously think about that.
Yeah, no, and
things have changed,
and I don't think I'd be mad either.
Everything has changed in life. So.
I love you, Francisco, but best of luck if that's how it plays out. But I will say this, man, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice if he stayed. It'd be nice if there was. I'm not asking for a hometown discount. You might get a COVID discount.
I think the Frankie Lindor. I think the Frankie Lindor story, which was much more narrow in scope with themes, has now really broadened. I think it's day by day, starting when he shows up in Progressive Field for spring training. And I really mean that. I think it's gonna be day by day now, which is gonna be grinding for a fan like you and I. But I think it's gonna be day by day.
You know what though? I can tell you this: for these next 60 games, he's gonna be dedicated and on point and ready to go.
Oh, look.
And that makes me happy. So what did Dolan say? Enjoy him.
Look, exactly.
Enjoy him.
Enjoy him.
And you know what? I'm going to.
Here's the last thing, and then we'll get to more overall baseball, and then we'll flip it to the Cavs. The big thing here with Lindor again, though, in the Indians is this: we believe in this organization. Jared and I brag about it all the time. Some other fans do too. We believe in this. I can't stress this enough. I think it's just as important for the turnoff, for the Antonetti, for the Franconas in our life. Because if they've done their homework and they've done their homework on these players, when things happen, they should have players, yes, who aren't as talented, but could be ready to go. Because again, the biggest thing in baseball is in 162 season, it's a bigger deal. 60 games, if you get red hot for 2-3 months, I mean, that's all it takes.
Turn up the heat.
Yep. So it's going to be a big feel. I think it's going to, again, I love this in a way, but it's going to be very different. It is going to be game by game this year. You better not turn it off. You need to watch every inning, in my opinion. I will be.
I'm super stoked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm fired up, man. I really am. If they can make this happen.
Indians have a great chance, but again, the field is open. I really do mean that. I think the field is open, and yeah. Trevor Bauer, our favorite Red, went on some personal tears after this whole thing went down. I would suggest reading about it. I don't know how far we're going to go down these roads, but he gave some interesting things on Twitter. I'll read a couple of them. These are all tweets from Mr. Bauer. Now, to voice my personal opinion, and in no way I'm speaking on behalf of any other player or the union as a whole, I believe there is a deal to be had that is beneficial for everyone involved, and honestly, I'm not sure what the holdup is. Exasperated emoji. That was on Monday night. Later on Monday night and Tuesday morning, fans want baseball. The vast majority of players want baseball. Most owners want baseball. Seems like everyone is in agreement, yet we have no baseball. How? It's an absolute death for this industry to keep acting like this, both sides. We're driving the bus off the cliff. How is this good for everyone? COVID-19 already presented a lose-lose situation, and we somehow find and made this worse. Incredible. And then the final thing that I brought up earlier, COVID-19 protections and protections for non-guaranteed arbitration contracts for next year in order to hold on for rights to agree, friends, ... That's kind of what I felt too. Again, it's all about the grievance. We'll have to see how that plays out. Bauer's been very entertaining. If you want to see him or want to see him getting verbal arguments with the following, Kurt Schilling, Aubrey Huff, probably many others.
I think Aubrey Huff blocked him because the last comments that Aubrey Huff made with Trevor Bauer, they weren't showing up, and Bauer kind of look. Let's just say this right now: Aubrey Huff is one of the worst people.
Not a good guy.
He's just a piece of shit.
Sorry,
Aubrey Huff's a piece of shit. I don't have any
not a good guy
issues with saying that.
Not a good guy.
Yeah. So and Trevor is a loose cannon. We know that. So that stuff, if you're into male drama, it's fun to read.
Buckle up.
Buckle up. It's there for you. But yeah, very strange stuff. Kurt Schilling's kind of a shithead too, you know? Yeah.
Not a good guy. All right. Other stories that are non-Indians. I thought Trevor Bauer, that should be mentioned. If you want some entertainment stuff, I would read his Twitter page.
Funny how he stays in the news all the time. Love Trevor in that way.
We're going to see him twice, possibly this year too.
No, really. And he'll probably get destroyed. I mean, we did gloat at his demise last season, so I did at least,
and rightly so. What he did after he left,
9+ ERA.
Well, running around Jacobs Field Progressive Field during the middle of that game after he got traded was ridiculous.
Again, same guy that took the photo of Tito getting off the city bus was sending me photos of him with Trevor during that moment. He was standing there with Trevor going, "What the fuck is this guy doing right now?"
I know.
That's what he sent me. And I look at my phone, I go, "I don't know. He's being an idiot."
Speaking of people that irritate the blood sometimes, the Astros are coming back. Remember that. I just want to bring up other storylines in baseball. Mookie Betts, David Price, remember them? They're now playing for the Dodgers in the Bo Sox trade. Garrett Cole playing for those evil pinstripes. We will not see them until the earliest October. And then Madison Bumgarner, I think the best pitcher in baseball. He's going to be in Arizona this year. We already talked about universal DH. I do want to remind everyone that everyone in baseball believes, for the most part, maybe the Reds being right there with them, which, again, we play the Reds quite a bit. The White Sox seem to be the winner of the offseason, just for people who don't remember. Yasami Gordal, who's a good catcher. Dallas Keuchel, Edwin Encarnacion, remember him. Steve Keshik and Gio Gonzalez. They also resigned Jose Abreu, so they did make a lot of changes. We'll have to see the brand new White Sox. Josh Donaldson, remember him? He's in Minnesota now. He's a Twin. And I think the most interesting story for me that's with these kind of big things are the Red Sox rebuilding. Look, I do find that to be a fascinating story. They are really going through a big change. Chris Sale, by the way, not pitching this year. He got TJ, Tommy John surgery. Finally, the biggest story that I've seen popping up in non-Cleveland headlines is the return of Corey Kluber in Texas. I will warn people now. If you think Lindor's trade rumors are annoying, and I like Corey Kluber a lot, if that guy gets off to a hot start in Texas.
Is this what we do? We get a Cy Young Award winner and then ship him to Texas?
Again.
That seems to be the thing we do.
If that guy's running around the Maverick hat winning the Cy Young, asterisks or no asterisks, that's going to hurt our ass. And that's what it comes down to. I've seen a lot of stories already about that. So yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. And that's going to get ramped up. That is a big side story in baseball. That is baseball in a nutshell. With 54 minutes. Wowee. Are we ready to talk a little Browns? Here we go. The Clowney rumors are here and not updated. They are still there.
Really?
Jared.
Really?
Clowney is not taking up the offer. The Browns still want him. And no sides have made any movement either way.
Why?
Yet these rumors persist.
Were the comments that Clowney supposedly made?
Don't get
Pardon my
emotional.
cough. By the way,
Don't
I've
get
had
emotional.
this all day, and I promise you, it's not COVID related.
Yes.
I got a little bit of air conditioning, humid heat, back and forth issues from throughout the day.
Well,
Anyway, that's my excuse.
Next time, wear your mask, even though we're social distancing.
I wear my mask everywhere, bro. I wear my mask,
Please,
and I do it. I do it for you. I don't do it for me.
Well,
I do
on
it
a
for you.
podcast, I just want to be extra protected. Please wear your mask.
That's why we should we wear them while we're doing the show. Were the rumors about Clowney basically saying, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, made up? Is he playing hardball? What is that deal? What is that deal?
Mary Kay Cabot is reporting the Browns are still a wait and see mode. I think the biggest thing with Clowney here is pure and simple. Just to nip this in the bud quickly. This has not gone away. No movement is happening, and people need to buckle up because this rumor is not going away. I thought it would. It isn't. It's still there. And Clowney's made no effort. The Seahawks made no effort to re-sign him. So I think people need to get ready for that. And by the way, as we're learning, as COVID-19 breaks out, I don't know how much longer Clowney's going to be just laying around unless he does really not want to play. And by the way, that could be the case here. I don't know.
You remember Steve Miller Band?
Yes, I do.
Go on, take the money and run.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Come on, take the money and run.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Awooga.
Kareem Hunt did the short. Jake Trotter did a short little thing on Kareem Hunt, and the basic thing. And I thought Kareem's interview the other day on his Zoom conference was good. It was good to see him. He made one more comment about the police incident that happened in the offseason. Quote, I would say that it was out of character. Hunt said, quote, I have been working to become a better person each and every day. Definitely not looking for anything like that to happen again. I've got to do better. Shouldn't have done it. Ready to move on from that, end quote. Good to hear that kind of stuff. Kareem Hunt, again, it feels like it's been years. 2 years ago, he was an all-pro for the Chiefs. You just hope for a guy like this who's had some issues. You just hope he can stay on a straight and narrow path and become a guy you can play.
I can't get mad at a dude for having weed in the car and speeding. I just can't do it. Can't be mad at him for that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and pile on with him. I'm not going to. Has he committed any of the other offenses that, the mistakes he's made in the past, at that level? Not even close. I'm sorry. What he was pulled over for and what he was busted with, nope. I'm sorry. That does not register for me as being an issue. It just does not. It does not. You watch the video. You knew he felt terrible, right? You knew he was scared. You knew the cop felt bad for him. Nope. I'm not mad at him. I'm not for that. I'm not for that at all. I'm not. I am so over marijuana anything regarding the law. Arrests, tickets, the fact that it's illegal, any of it. I'm over it. Anyone who's in jail for marijuana, I'm over it. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's a fucking plant. I'm over it. That's where I'm at. So I hope that Kareem continues to do the things that he needs to do to keep his ass out of trouble. I hope that people recognize the difference between what happened a few years ago and getting pulled over and have some weed in the car. I just do not equate that whatsoever to being a major issue. I just don't. I don't care if it's against the law. Even I don't care about. I'm sorry. The law's bullshit. That's where I stand on that. So, anyways, there's me on that issue, specific issue regarding Kareem Hunt.
Hunt off the field is got to stay out of trouble, and he knows that. Hunt on the field. I will say this: this is a big year for Kareem Hunt because it's been 2 seasons removed, and he needs to start. You got to start getting back in the groove of the sport.
But we know that. But we know what the issue was last year.
Again, all that I know, I'm just saying
he's going to.
I hope he does.
He's going
because this has an opportunity to be a big year for.
He's got a coach that knows how to use them. Hopefully, that's really what we're talking about here.
Yes,
we got a coach that isn't going to hesitate to put both him and Nick Chubb in the backfield at certain times to use Kareem Hunt. And Kareem can catch the ball. We know that too. He's like having another wide receiver out on the field at times.
He's a wonderful look. On the field. He's a wonderful, wonderful talent. Browns news is going to be few and far between because they got a lot of stuff to figure out between now and when the camp is supposed to open up. So I think you're going to hear more stories on the COVID-19 front, less on the field here in the next few weeks. There's really nothing else going on. I looked around, didn't see a lot. This is going to be the time where the Browns finally pump the brakes, in my opinion, a little bit. Speaking of things like that, so that is where the Browns are. And now it's transition to Drummond's back in the Cavs.
There we go.
2-time All-Star Andre Drummond says he plans to pick up his player option that'll keep him in Cleveland for another year. Quote, yeah, it's going to be hard to give up. So you can count on me being in Cleveland still. So, look, I will just leave it there. That was a no-brainer. You got to take the money. Jared, you got to take the money.
What'd you say? The facility's open at noon. He was there at 1.
Yeah. Folks, the clock opened.
Sealed, delivered. I'm yours. A lot of music reference.
The clock opened, I don't know, earlier that day on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And like an hour later, Andre Drummond broke. Yeah, I'm taking. Yeah, player option. Yep. Yeah. Nope. We're good.
Yeah.
I went online.
Email me the PDF. I can sign it.
Yeah.
Email it right back.
Yep. In fact, I already clicked yes. So that is that. All right, some Cavs offseason optics, because I think we should do this now, because I think after this, the Cavs are going to go bye-bye for a while. The Tristan Thompson rumors, there are some rumors, Jared, that you are hearing when you're reading, this is according to Cleveland.com, where they're actually, this is a leak source according to Cleveland.com that talked to them, quote, I believe there's a slim chance of him resigning in a free agent, a leak source said close to Thompson. Quote, he hasn't necessarily played his final game there. It's at 50-50, a source said when asked about the chances of Thompson returning to Cleveland. Yeah. End quote. The articles in Cleveland.com, I found that to be interesting. I was not expecting those kind of quotes. Obviously, he feels like
you gotta look at it on both sides of this. I don't know that he can expect to get a lot on the market going anywhere, and I don't know that the team can expect to get a lot regarding. Well, wait a minute. Where is he at, anyways? Look.
I think location wise, or what do you mean?
Is he still living in Cleveland?
I believe he's in LA. I believe he's in LA. I mean, look, Tristan Thompson, Frankie Lindor, people like this, these are hard and tough decisions because we all know if this was a normal offseason, Tristan Thompson would be gone because he'd get paid better and more lucrative to go play for a good team.
Well, that's my point.
Those options may not be there now.
I don't know that. I think the Cavs would be interested in re-signing him.
I think the Cavs would be very interested in re-signing him.
Because I don't know what you're going to. Let's just think about size alone. What are you doing? What are you doing without him?
History. The guy won a championship in 2016. History. The guy's been through the wars. He's a good player. We know what he can do. Drummond and Tristan complement each other so well. They do two different things at the same position. Drummond is more offensive-minded, scorer of the hoop. Thompson, defensive-minded rebounder. It's great. It's nice to have this kind of combo because you can't play them at the same time, but when you need a certain style on the offensive floor or you need a certain style defensively late in games, you can make that switch. And by the way, I know people don't want to hear this, and it just feels like years ago now, but it's only been months. Cavs won 4-4 with Drummond. Okay? Okay. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm
just
cool.
saying.
I'm interested in keeping him there. I am.
I would keep him.
I'd love to. I mean, has Kevin Love talked about this? I haven't seen anything regarding Kevin Love commenting on Tristan. Has he at all? Kevin's busy with doing a lot of other.
Well, he's doing a lot of work. He's in New York right now doing some stuff, and then he got the ESPY award the other night. I think the biggest thing. With he mentioned Tristan a couple times, and he thought he had a good season, all that stuff. He's very generic answering because it's hard to tell. It's just hard. This is so hard. I mean, even, Love had a conference call too. And something that came up interesting in that conference call was like, he made a great point. He goes, for guys like Chetty Osman who went back home, which is what they normally do in the offseason, are they going to be able to come back? Are they going to be allowed to come back in the country? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of murkiness, so it's just hard. Another guy too, who I've been a little bit more high on, but obviously disappointed too. And I've been surprised. The articles about Garland not playing well have been mounting. Stats wise, write-up rise, and I'm not naive. Garland really struggled. The only thing is, Jared, I just want to get on Garland real quick. The guy didn't play more than a handful of games in college, like 4 or 5 games.
Right.
So to expect him to roll out the balls and be this good, I'm just very surprised.
No, and in this season too, where shit didn't work out.
Yeah, I think people need to be. I'm just gonna say this. He struggled absolutely. Does he need to improve? Captain Obvious is tipping his cap. All that to be said, Garland needs a chance. Okay, now to the other guy. Remember Dylan Windler? I can't even pronounce his name. It's been so long. Dylan Windler. He hasn't played basketball in a long time. He was the second first-round pick that the Cavs did. He had season-ending surgery on his lower left leg. That, to me, Jared's one I'm more interested to see what happens. Because to not play basketball for so long, that is a dreadful amount of time not to be on the floor. That is the one that I'm more cautiously not having expectations on a guy. Garland, I want to see more. Windler, I mean, we didn't even see him. He was our second pick in that draft.
Doesn't something like that, someone like that, really just kind of exemplify where the Cavs are at and what's going to happen in the coming seasons?
Look,
like you just don't have a fucking clue.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with this on the Cavs. Then I'm going to get a little bit to Love, then we'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about the Cavs. I'm positive on the Indians, as we all know. I have good vibes about the Cavs, about the Browns too. I think the Cavs, what has happened is really going to set this team back again. I think I know everybody's high on JB Bickerstaff. He seems like a good coach, good man. Folks, this is going to be tough for the Cavs. They have development players who aren't going to develop. They have players out there who are overseas that can't come back. They aren't playing basketball until December. I mean, Kevin Love, quote, "It's a tough pill to swallow. But from a Leafs perspective, I totally understand it. 7 to 8 months of not playing basketball is not conducive to what we are trying to build." Kevin Love. It's not just me. It's not just Jared. This is the best player in the team.
The Cavs aren't alone in this, though, too, Andy. This goes all the way out to the West Coast.
Warriors. Look.
No, I'm saying even the Lakers. The fact that they now are struggling to get, there's guys that don't want to play, even when they restart. To the fact that JR, who hasn't played since 2018, is going to reunite with LeBron possibly. Now, granted, fucking love JR, and I hope it works out. Holy shit! But what I'm saying is, this league is in a strange.
Well, but that's a kind of problem,
just like everywhere else.
I would rather have those issues though than not playing. Actually,
I know, but all I'm saying is there's uncertainty everywhere, and I don't know that we can assume that the uncertainty is going to equal good or bad later on. I get why you're leaning that way. You're right, development and all of those things, but we're in purgatory.
Well, I'm just going to say it again. I think the Cavs are on the opposite viewpoint. I think this is going to be a very uphill climb for this team.
Yeah, well, maybe.
And this team did not play well.
Maybe, yeah. I know.
This is asking a lot from a team.
I know, and it's
that-
and you got an owner who's coming off of a stroke and a really shitty situation, and I'm glad that Dan's doing better and long haul rehab and all that good stuff. But man, I get it. I really do. The Cavs are in.
It's murky at best. I think this is going to be hard. I think this is going to be very, very challenging for the Cavs.
Yeah,
they're going to have to hit everything. And I will say this, and I hate doing this, but it's true. Everything is going to be about that lottery pick. Everything.
Well, the beauty, and the beauty of it is, depending on I don't remember how many slots, the percentage difference in whether it's a coin flip on whether you end up getting that number 1 overall or not, with so many different ways it could play out. So I know, Andy, I don't know how any of it's going to play out.
The Cavs, I think, just being realistic, again, a huge uphill. I'm not saying they can't do it, but they're going to have to hit some.
That's why you keep Tristan if you can. Right.
That's why you keep Kevin Love. You keep Tristan.
I've hit the point, Andy, where you keep Kevin Love no matter what.
I think he needs to be a Cav for life.
He is.
He needs to be a Cav for
Look,
life.
Man, even on the court and off the court,
community guy.
Everything. He is everything.
He's improving society. It's pure simple. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. 10 years ago, in July 8th, this television show came out called The Decision. I watched it. We all watched it. It was fucking miserable. ESPN, my old employer, has decided they're going to do a look back on Sunday on what happened and get into the backstory of The Decision. It's going to be on Sunday night at 9:00. We kind of alluded to at the top. I will take the torch here for a second. LeBron has done some many great things to the city of Cleveland. I don't think he had any attention at all. I really don't, for what happened that night. I mean that.
Correct.
However, sometimes in life things get out of control, and that got out of control. I know he did things for the Heat. I'm not going to get into the decision of going to the Heat. And I know why and everything else and whatever. Look, it didn't come off well. He upset many people in Cleveland. Many people in Cleveland, including myself. I did not like how I was handled. I'm sorry. I don't. I was very, very disappointed and sad. I was really, really down. I just did not think the city of Cleveland came off well and all in that. All that to be said, we won a championship, so I've forgiven LeBron. I'm good. I've forgiven LeBron. I will watch this. I'm interested to hear what they have to say behind the backstory of it. All that to be said, my bigger point about the decision is I have let this go a long time ago when he came back. Even if LeBron didn't win a championship in 2016, I would have let this go. The decision's dead for all that pain, suffering. Burned like the jerseys on that night, okay? All that to be said, 10 years ago today, this was a nervous part of our little lives as Cleveland fans. Woo! I mean, it was every day Chris Broussard reading things, hearing things from Wendy. Because Chris Broussard and Wendy were going back and forth throughout the entire time, felt like. So it's amazing now how we've come all this way. We won a championship. All this stuff's great. All that to be said, I will watch as I want to see what they have to say about this. And for not good reasons, it was bad. I was so down. It wasn't the move, but it was close.
So
it was close.
I remember I was sitting on the back porch with my dad. He had a TV out. He has a TV out in the garage. And we were sitting there, and we had a feeling. I think I was home visiting. I was doing something with the military where I had time to take leave, and I was home visiting. And if I remember correctly, and I remember him sitting down with. And this is where my issue lies. First mistake, Jim Gray. Sorry. First mistake, Jim Gray. All right. And I said I was going to come from a place of cultural humility, and I'll get to that.
And humidity.
It is humid outside. I never burned a jersey.
Nope.
I never said, fuck you, LeBron, I hate you. I never said that.
Right.
I never wrote a letter. I never did that. What I did was I took my jersey, my LeBron jersey, and I gave it away to Goodwill. Here, somebody else can wear this that needs it, right?
Yep.
And I was just hurt and disappointed.
Yes, I was too.
Because it felt like it was a very me moment without recognizing that it was more than him in the room. It was an entire city and an entire region in the room.
He miscalculated the pain it would cause, and it felt like a slap in the face. That wasn't his intention. Again,
I get it. And that's why I want to say this, Andy.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I feel like ESPN is creating purpose and reason where it really didn't exist at the time to fit current events. I do understand that a young black man taking control of his life and making a major decision and doing what he feels is best for himself is a very important and serious thing, which is why I feel that ESPN is exploiting that in a sense, because that's not fair regarding how this played out. Had LeBron gone to Miami and not had the decision, I don't think I would have felt as terribly as I did. Right?
Again, it's not about, I've said this from day one. It wasn't yes, it would have been hurt and disappointed for him leaving to Miami, but that would have been it. Manny Ramirez, Jim Tomey, fill in the blank. Now LeBron's
it was like being asked. All right, so this is a.
But LeBron, to be fair, LeBron was a lot
like
bigger.
Being called up on stage to stand with somebody, and then they it's like being told you might go to. I'm trying to think of a good analogy as a Cleveland sports fan, where you're like on the podium with him, and then you're basically embarrassed in front of the nation by him, not in a way that is. It's a really hard thing to discuss, isn't it? Man, this is difficult.
Well, but it hurt.
It hurt. It felt like getting punched in front of people when you thought you might get a hug. How's that?
Again,
you thought you might get a hug, and you thought again, here we are as Cleveland sports fans. Man, what if he says he's staying in Cleveland? Let's just play that game for one moment. Imagine for one moment, Andy, if he did what we hoped he would do, but knew he wouldn't do. Imagine if he got there and was like, I'm keeping my talents in Cleveland. What that statement would have meant to everyone and to the world as that example. That is what I was hoping for. Now, that's the admittedly selfish part of me as a fan. That's why I wish he hadn't put it on display like he did, because it went from, it just turned it into a very, oh man, it's so hard to talk about.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I love LeBron. He's done a lot of great things for the city of Cleveland.
Always.
This is the one thing I'm telling you.
I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time.
I love LeBron and what he's done for the city of Akron, what he's done for Cleveland's everything great.
Always.
Look,
always. I cried when he came back to Cleveland. I couldn't believe it. I felt like, it was great. The greatest, in 2016, it's the greatest. It's always going to be there. We just did a show all about this.
Yeah, no, it's all great. Again,
I just don't know what ESPN is doing with this like this.
Well, we got to watch it. We haven't watched it yet. We don't know.
I know.
But look, it's making the news rounds. We'll have to see
And I will remain open to that, Andy. I will remain open.
Again, it's not a problem that he went to Miami. That would have bothered us. It bothered me. That's different. That happens. That's happened in sports a lot. That happens. Not just Cleveland, other teams, other cities too. It does happen. Okay, the way it went down, the whole thing, and it really. And
again, Jim Gray.
Well, yeah. Again,
Jim Gray.
Yeah. All that to be said. We'll have to watch it and see what we learn in that presentation. All right, to wrap it up. Whew,
we'll see how they can put a bow on it.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. College football. Paul Feinbaum was on KNR earlier this week, and he even mentioned now he's really curious to see if they can pull off the college football season. I think the big thing you're going to start seeing now is these neutral site games being played in, between SC and Bama and Jerry's World. I don't know if you're going to see that now. That you're going to probably see one of those games at a home location, stuff like that. I think that's step one. But look, the carpet's been rolled out to reality. 23 players in Clemson, 13 in Texas. Kansas State suspends all football workouts for 14 days. Boise State has not only canceled athletics for a little bit, they are closing down their campus facilities. Woof! For the remainder of the week, met an increase of community-based coronavirus cases. So, again, this is just the start. It's a long road. We'll have to see. But, wow, rough start. I mean, that was the roughest start you could have for college football. PGA is now going up against it. Koepka had to withdraw today from the tournaments coming up. His caddy got it. Webb Simpson actually had to withdraw because he was in that circle of people. He just won last week, so Webb Simpson is a player who wins on tour. He just won again. He's been hot lately. The PGA is starting to go through some early signs of it. All that to be said, to Jared, what he alluded to at the top is very true when you're hearing what's going on in college football, when you hear what's going on for PGA. By the way, today was the first day of testing for the NBA, so you're going to start hearing things coming out about that too, which you already started to see leaks about. So that stuff's also coming out. So, you got to buckle up. Sports is great. I'm happy sports is back. It does not mean this is going to be a clean in and out process. COVID-19 is going to happen, and you just got to be aware of it. Now, to finally end on NASCAR and Bubba Wallace.
Yeah.
I am not a NASCAR fan per se. I don't watch NASCAR. I used to watch the Daytona 500 once in a while, maybe the Brickyard, but honestly, I truthfully, I didn't realize Kurt Busch had won NASCAR up until a few weeks ago. So that's how out of it I am. I just don't know. I would probably have said Jimmy Johnson. I don't even know if he's that competitive anymore on that level.
He is.
I did happen because it was on the news everywhere on Sunday. The awful Confederate flag thing that has to go away. It's terrible. All that stuff's awful. And I saw that NASCAR obviously kept him out of the stands and out of the tracks, but there's things being flown across, the track itself, and there's people still selling Confederate flags, which I think is terrible. All that stuff's terrible. All of it's terrible.
I've been bitching about that flag for the past 5-6 years, way before any of this, Andy. I'm with you 100%. Look, I live in the United States of America. I wore the uniform of the United States of America. I didn't serve to support that bullshit. I'm sorry. The Confederacy lost. That is not a country. It does not exist. And I'm just not a fan of it. You can say, that's Southern culture and Southern pride all fucking day, and I will never be able to understand it. I just will not, because it comes from a place of oppression. It comes from a place of holding other people down. It comes from a place of chasing a black man who is running and killing him in cold blood. That is where that comes from.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I have no place for it in my life.
Zero. By the way, I don't think people should be making Confederate flags. All that shit's got to stop. Stop. It's got to stop. I am in the Bubba Wallace camp of thinking he's a good guy. I like Bubba Wallace. I don't know what to say about this whole news story. It is a lot that's going on there. It is very, very murky. What I'm going to leave it as, I'm rooting for Bubba Wallace. I want him to see him do well. But I have to say, this whole news story in the garage and the FBI finding it and what they found and reported, that whole story, I think there's a lot more to come on that.
Yeah, it makes things difficult, Andy.
It makes things
difficult because it undercuts the very real conversations that are going on. It undercuts the very real problems that we see, and it puts on display a sort of it brings out the skepticism in people, the cynicism in people, where they believe that it's a put on and it's a ruse and it's a Jussie Smollett 2.0 and things that we and you see folks on Twitter that are really good in this field, like Bomani Jones, having to deal with a lot of really shitty people coming at him because of this. And I'm going to stand there too and support Bubba Wallace. And I really do hope that this was not what people are claiming it to be.
The new situation is there's a lot more to come on that. Yeah. And it's pretty clear from the FBI report.
I think so.
The one thing I will say, though, going back to the sport of NASCAR, I do think NASCAR clearly is in a crisis point, and they need to be very much aware of where they're at publicly and what's going on moving forward. And honestly, if I were NASCAR, I would think about taking a break and trying to figure out what to do going forward. Because right now, this is not working out.
They're on the right side of history in regard to the decision that they're making. They're on the right side.
Oh, that's true.
With the entire organization behind Bubba Wallace and pushing his car, all of those things are the right way to do it.
Of course.
And on the right side of history, no doubt in my mind.
Of course.
But, now here's that but, and I don't even like using the but. How about this? How about and? Let's get rid of but, because but is not good. I don't want to take away from it. So I'm not going to. And again, I'm going to try to fix the words that come out of my mouth when I'm having these discussions. So not but, I'm going to say and it's not looking good when this is how this is playing out. This is a situation that can undermine the very real problems and real conversations, because it's fuel for the fodder for those who want to, continue those old ways. And I just, nope, I've got no patience for it.
Look, all that's true. I just think NASCAR really needs to be aware and start thinking way ahead, because right now they're making strides. They're doing things, and supporting Bubba Wallace in the moment was great. However, even before what happened on the fallout of the FBI report and whatever that is, it is. Even that to be said, though, Jared, still people close enough to the track selling Confederate flags, things being flown over a racetrack. Gotta stop. They've got some things that I think, Jared, I know this is harsh to say. I would think about really maybe pausing the season for a couple of weeks and trying to get some ideas down of what to do going forward.
Really?
It's an important moment for this sport. Jared, I think it's really, really important for this sport right now. It doesn't, the optics from afar, there's a long road to go.
I don't know. I don't think that you make excuses for what happened in the situation, but I do think that you dig in your heels and you press forward on this regarding your stance about equality, about the flag.
Okay. If this continues,
that's where I stand.
Right.
I don't know.
If this continues, all I'll say is I don't know how good it is for the long term of that sport. I'll leave it there. Even though they're doing the right things, they're saying the right things, and they're in unity. They really are. But all to be said, this was.
I don't know. I think doing the right thing and continuing to do the right thing is the right thing. But again, like you said, there's more that's going to come out possibly. And if more comes out that doesn't look good, those things are going to happen no matter what. I don't know that I don't know.
NASCAR is a big couple weeks from NASCAR. So I'll leave it. It's a big couple weeks from NASCAR.
Man, it was so much easier to talk about baseball. What
was your favorite union dispute?
These are difficult, right? These are difficult discussions, Andy, and I acknowledge that. Whether it be a look back at LeBron's decision, or whether it be this fumble, I don't even know how to look at it yet regarding NASCAR. These are difficult conversations. All I can say is that I'm always going to do my best to come from a place of caring and honesty and
Hey,
reflection, and that's all we can do, Andy. You know, we're two middle-aged white dudes that have enjoyed the fact that we haven't had to deal with some of the things that a lot of these athletes in other leagues, especially outside of NASCAR, for crying out loud, have had to deal with in their lives and coming up and trying to do everything they can to pull their families out of poverty or to, you know, prove to others that they are worthy. These are feelings that you and I will never understand. They're shoes that we have not worn. So, you know, we'll keep doing it. I'll just say it that way. We'll keep doing it. And you know what? We've got time because there's not a lot of sports going on. So I know we're going to talk about sports, but I don't
we're
mind.
getting close.
But I don't mind talking about some of this stuff either.
Well, no, it's part of sports right now. Look, this
Yeah.
like anything else in life, things will go back. It's not going to be right away, and things will get back. And we're getting close to that with baseball and basketball. It's clear, okay, and that'll be good. All that to be said, like I agree with Jared, and these are exhausting times. All that to be said, it'll be nice from here on out. No more labor union stuff from baseball. Thank fucking God. NBA, it's going to be back on the court. Thank fucking God. And you know what? Soon enough, it'll be the same for the NFL. College football, wait and see. I still have high hopes on that too. And by the way, I'm glad Andre Drummond's coming back. I think he's good. I love the Kevin Love got the Arthur Ashe Award. I think that's cool stuff. I would love for Tristan Thompson to come back. And honestly, I'd love to see JR back in the league. I think that would be great if he played for the Lakers. Love JR. And again, LeBron James is the man. What he did and how he's helped the city in Cleveland since 2003 has been unbelievable. Can't even put a value on it. He's great. He's great.
Well, we are brought to you by Waiting for Next Year. Check them out, original Cleveland sports reporting at waitingfornextyear.com. Also, don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at CLE and Beyond. That's at CLE and Beyond. And shoot us an email, andyandjared at gmail.com. Andy and Jared, JARID at gmail.com. Also, follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Cleveland and Beyond. Andy, any last thoughts? I think you just gave them, but go ahead.
I would like to break down the labor union contract some more. Let me see. I got some more details here. Hold on for a second. Let's see here. Line paragraph 4 here says here you can't chew tobacco on. I'm glad baseball's coming back. Thank God. There are some things that are going on that you like to see too. You know, and then I just think sports coming back is a good thing. All that to be said, we'll push forward, like you said. Not a lot of Brown stuff going on. And we talked about the Cavs and, you know, here we are.
I'm going to keep trying to come from a place of humility and respect as best I can. I am going to speak out on things that I don't agree with, that I believe are causing hurt and pain to others, that I do not like. I understand that this is a sports show and I will do my best to stick to sports. But I will also address the issues that are relatively important regarding a lot of folks who are playing the sports that we love. So that's where I stand on that. Andy, love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
I don't know, man. I just feel like this is a very strange time. And
that's an understatement.
I feel like I feel like I needed to say that. And to you, the listener, and to anyone who watches this show on Facebook and YouTube, I got nothing but love for you too. And I hope that we all learn and grow and become better human beings on this planet. I get preachy sometimes, and I know I'm there right now, but that's so whatever. Andy and Jared, Cleveland and Beyond. We'll talk again soon. Take care.